Hello and welcome to another episode of Life Stories Markham. Life Stories is a channel devoted to providing our audience with a deeper understanding of the individual behind the public persona. I'm your host, Michael Heap, and I'm joined by the world famous Nilesh Hathi as my co-host in the control room. And on this channel, Nilesh and I will delve into the life story of Markham residents who are known in their field of work or by their passion. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube or listening to it on our podcast, we would ask you to please subscribe so you don't miss an episode.
In this episode, we are pleased to be joined by Lauren Wasylkiw, hope I got that right, and Shane Konings. Lauren and Shane are fellow curlers at Unionville Curling Club. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
It's great to have you guys. So, we're going to be I'm trying to understand a little bit about you as individuals, but we'll start with curling, because you guys have done a lot in the curling world. But let's take you back to when it all started. So, how did you both get involved in curling to begin with? Shane, I'll ask you to start, please.
So we both actually kind of have a similar story to this. We both got introduced to it during elementary school. For me, it was I believe it was grade 6. My gym teacher took us out to just curl for a week every day in gym, and I picked up on it pretty quick. I played hockey growing up all my life, so being on the ice was what I loved to do. And there was another gentleman there, Don Wilkin, who was a coach at the time, teaching us how to curl, and he was looking for another bantam boy to join his team that he had 3 guys for. So I jumped on with that and did pretty well and stuck with it ever since.
Right, excellent. Lauren?
I started a little bit younger. We were in grade 2, and our teacher took us for electives, and curling was one of the options, and that was something all my friends were doing. All their parents curled. So I just tagged along for the elective and ended up they also curled in like a Little Rock program in the Nobleton Arena. So it was on like hockey arena ice. We had to pull the Little Rocks out on our own. We carried them out every week. And then, so never really stopped after that. Been curling ever since, yeah.
Now, was it a case for you, Lauren, where when you stepped on the ice to curl, it just felt right? It felt normal, or did it take a little while to get into it?
I think it must have just felt right, because I kept going back. I got involved in bonspiels, and we did the elementary Timbits program right away too. So kind of got right into being competitive with it immediately. So I got the competitiveness going right away, and it was just lots of fun. Got to hang out with friends, so it was fun.
Okay, excellent.
And so, what town, Shane, was that in?
So that was actually in Palmerston, but I grew up in Gownstown, just outside of Listowel. And curling was always a big part of our family too. I always grew up, as long as I can remember, we'd be at my grandparents watching the Scotties or the Briar and making ice cream floats, and that was just kind of our tradition. So my grandparents had curled and my parents had curled, so it had been in the family.
And how far is that from Toronto for people from Alberta watching?
It's 2 hours west of Toronto.
And Lauren, yourself?
I just grew up in Kleinburg, so and then started in McMichael, and so Nobleton is just a little bit north of that.
Sure.
And
which is just a little northwest of Toronto for those people watching elsewhere.
Yes.
And Shane, you grew up on a farm?
Yep.
You did. So I have to ask you some questions about that, because
okay.
There's very few of us that grow up on farms these days, especially with the farmland, as we know, is becoming scarcer and scarcer in this country. So maybe take us through some of the interesting items, interesting aspects of living on a farm for you as a kid.
Well, for me, it's the best place in the world to grow up on. We had a 100-acre farm where we had beef cattle and grew corn. So we had a big bush out back too. So one of my best memories is going out into the pond and skating every winter. Wow. It was the last couple of years we were there. We moved away when I was 10, so I never really got to do a whole lot of work. Well, I always said I was too young to work. My brother did a lot of work, but that was my excuse anyways.
Right.
But yeah, getting out in the pond in the wintertime is always something that we look forward to, or just hanging out in the bush or the back fields.
Sure. Excellent. Excellent. And so Shane, you spent time on a farm. Now, at a certain point in your life, Lauren, you ended up in Newfoundland. And you were there for a few years. Maybe take us through what took you to Newfoundland and the experience you had out there.
Okay. It was kind of a connection through curling as well. I had met through university. So I moved out there after university, after I graduated. And I had met a few of the people who curled from Memorial University out there and lived in Newfoundland. And then an opportunity came up where I was able to move out there and got connected with the girls out there, was able to get on a team right away as well. So I joined up with Stacey Devereaux, who is Stacey Curtis now. Okay. And yeah, we had a really great year and ended up winning, going to the Scotties. So yeah, that was a great experience.
So you went to the Scotties.
Yeah.
All right, well that's a perfect segue, because not too many people go to the Scotties. Yeah. Probably less people than live on farms. Yeah. So give us an idea of the Scotties. What's it like to be actually in the Scotties as a member of a team? Well,
it's very cool. Very, I don't really know where to start, but we had one lady on our team who she was a little bit older than the rest of us, so, and one of the other girls had been to a few Scotties as well, but there was two of us that it was our very first time. And so leading up to it, they were kind of telling us what to expect, trying to prep us a little bit. But I think every Scotties is different, so every experience is different. But still, it was just so great. Just there's all the social events where all the sponsors come and they do all these amazing dinners and socials, and you just get to meet all the other teams and everything, and then you get your jewelry, so that was very special as well. The dinner, the big banquet, and they call everyone up and you receive your pendant for the first time, so that's very cool. And I think it was that one that Colleen Jones was there too, and she filled her necklace. You get a bracelet after that, so she had filled that, and she was going on to her second bracelet or something. So that was pretty amazing to be there to see that.
That was probably the most people you were playing in front of.
Yes. So yeah, I was going to say then actually going into the arena was I always just remember that I found my depth perception was off, and I think that's just because the space around was just so big and so many people, and the noise, I guess the sound of the rock on the ice was different as well. So that all took some adjusting and took time to get used to that. But then that Scotties was in Kingston, so it was almost I was coming home to Ontario. So I had a lot of people that I knew in the stands, and my family was able to come watch. So it was very special. It was it was.
So you were performing, playing for Team Newfoundland.
Yes,
But you were in Kingston, Ontario.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. Yeah.
And Shane, do you remember the first time you sort of stepped on the ice with a bunch of people there in the stands and in the building?
Yeah, it was probably the Smith Falls Tankard. I think it was 2013. Could be wrong. Might have to fact check that one. But it was. I played with Craig Van Marmeren, Scott Brandon, and Matt Mapletoft at the time, and we were now you look at curling and 3/4 of the teams are around 20 years old or so, it seems like, in Ontario.
Right.
But at that time, we were the young team and everybody else was quite a bit older than us. So we got kind of the fan support that way a little bit too, just being the young guys. So it was pretty cool having a full arena full of people.
Right. Okay. So you're curling quite a bit. You're starting to move up the ladder. Now, as a couple, so right now you curl as a couple, but you also are a couple off the ice. So take us back to when you met, the two of you. Where did that happen?
So that happened about 12 years ago, I guess.
Yeah.
There used to be a spiel run by the TCA, a junior spiel, where the prize was a trip to Switzerland. And I think they've just brought it back for this year, actually.
That's the Toronto Curling Association.
Yeah.
Just to make it clear.
Yes.
Okay.
And it was 2008 was the year of the event, and both our teams ended up winning. So we got to go on a 10-day trip to Switzerland together.
Very nice.
Yeah, so that's when we first officially met.
Okay.
And then when we got back, we were both at different schools and just kind of went our own way. And then I guess after I moved home from Newfoundland, we realized we were living in the same area, met up again, and I had started curling at Unionville as well. So yeah, we just started.
Yeah, it just happened.
Yeah.
Was it 7 years after we met? We reconnected?
Yeah.
And Stephanie may have been involved in that.
Yeah, so she has been curling at Unionville as well, and Shane was there, and just the mutual connection that as well. Yeah.
So now you're primarily curling mixed doubles, and so take us through maybe the benefits and the challenges to curling together as a couple. You're a two-person team, a male and a female, and you're a couple on the ice and off the ice. So when you're on the ice as a team, what are some of the pros and what are some of the challenges maybe that you face?
Well, I'd say some of the pros, I always kind of thought, with us being a couple, looking at other teams that aren't couples, it would be difficult to play together because you don't kind of see the little nuances that you would pick up with your partner that you just see from day-to-day life. So if things aren't going well, you can kind of pick up on that a little bit earlier than maybe other teams would. Or even just if things are going well, you just know how to really help pick up your partner and keep the motivation going.
Now, Shane, in our research notes, you had said how it's different curling with mixed or women or something than an all men's team.
Yep. Well, the communication is definitely different as well. Because I find my role on a men's team primarily is to try to joke around, and if somebody misses a shot, you kind of take a jab at each other. That's just kind of how we would get along, and that's the majority of my teams I've played with has always been that way. But when it comes to mixed doubles, I found out pretty quickly that that's not a great way to communicate.
No jabs, right?
No. So yeah, that took a little bit of time to just work on the right communication between each other.
Right.
Also like to know about your first time, your date, and something about universities.
Oh, first date.
So, well, with Lauren went to Brock, and then I went to Laurier. Those two teams met each other a lot in the OUA playoffs.
Yeah, so we had Brock women and Laurier women had been in the final of the CIS, so the University Nationals, for I guess 2 years in a row, and we ended up losing 2 years in a row, so 2 silver medals to Laurier.
And then on our first date, I was wearing my Laurier jacket.
Right.
Surprised I got a second one.
Yeah.
But.
There you go. It was meant to be, obviously.
I guess so, yeah.
Again, sticking with curling, because mixed doubles is quite a different game from traditional curling, where you started, where most people started. So if you look at the two types of curling, mixed doubles and traditional curling, I mean, what would you prefer right now if you had a choice of one or the other? Lauren,
I like doubles just because it's a little bit faster, keeps you on your toes all the time, but you also get to play the fun shots. You get to do you're doing run doubles and all these just shots you wouldn't normally play on a men's or women's team as frequently, I guess.
Sure.
And yeah, it's fun to just kind of see it, line it all up, and then execute afterwards.
Yeah, I really like mixed doubles for some similar reasons. The speed of the play mainly, having input on every shot, direct input, because I know 4-person, if you're playing front end, you have a little bit of input, but for the majority of the time, you're just accepting what the back end is calling. Right. Whereas in doubles, it's your direct input, because for me, throwing the middle three, I need to be confident with that, so we're basically calling our own shots the whole time.
Right.
And there's a little bit of, did you see this? Did you see that? But especially when you're playing on time clocks, there's not a whole lot of time to think. So it's usually your first gut reaction is the best shot.
I have found too that doubles has helped with four-person curling too, because it kind of makes you just show up and you have to figure out how to curl and how to throw the rock and kind of do that with a little bit, like there's just less people in doubles to give you the information. So it does just help you kind of get into your good, like, I don't know. Flow, yeah, more quickly, I guess.
And you've mentioned
You
too.
play traditional curling. What's your favorite positions?
For me, it's vice.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah, still get a little bit of sweeping, but you get to also call some line, and I find vice has a lot of like big shots where you can set things up really well for your skip, or there's still the pressure there that if you don't make your shots right, the skip's in a lot of trouble.
You're still very involved in the game too.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about preferred shot, hit or a draw? Shane?
For me, that has actually changed this year.
Oh, it has.
So I would always say hit, but this year I would rather throw a draw.
Oh, interesting.
Are you missing more hits? Is that why?
I wouldn't say it's because I'm missing more. It's just that I've just become more confident as a drawer.
Was it mixed doubles probably?
Yeah, a bit of mixed doubles, and even just like because I skip on. I used to skip 2 nights for like mixed and men's, but I was playing vice this year for mixed, and so just playing skip there a little bit too. I think just is helping with the draw confidence.
Sure.
And actually, I'm the same because I used to love hits. I used to love playing like second and vice.
Right.
But this year, my favorite shot is the draw shot as well. And I think that is from doubles. Just I throw first and fifth, so that first shot is always a draw, and just it's.
Now, Lauren, you're left-handed.
Yes.
So is that an advantage, disadvantage, or is there any difference?
Like people say that there is, but I don't really think I don't think there is. I guess I have like my in-turn might curl a little bit more than a righty's out-turn, but we use that to our advantage sometimes. But it's nothing huge.
Sure.
I don't think. But
If anything, with us being opposite-handed, it's just there's a little bit more noticeable difference in some like lines based on our turns, because I would tend to kind of get my in-turn line a little bit, so I would need a bit more ice than what Lauren's out-turn would be for that same spot.
So let's explore a little bit of off-ice items. So you're competing at a very high level now. You won the provincials. You went to the nationals. So there's a lot of events. What about managing or balancing work with curling? Is it difficult, for example, to get time off work from your employer when you've got competitions to go to? So, Laura, maybe you can give me your perspective from your employment situation.
So my work this year was great. I just kind of managed my own vacation time, and whatever I needed off, I was able to take.
You're working at a retirement?
Yes, I'm at a retirement community, yeah.
Okay.
And when I actually got hired there, I made sure that they knew right away that I was a competitive curler, would need time off, and the response was, well, I'm sure the seniors would enjoy having someone to cheer for.
Ah, there we
So
go.
yes, and we do have quite a few residents that every time I would be saying, well, I'm not here on Friday or something, then they would make sure to make a point to come and see me and either wish us luck or just ask where we were going, if they could follow along. And I had a few that would pull up the live stream and they watched, and even the live scores, they were following along.
Oh, wow.
So
Nice. Shane, how about you?
So I've been working at the same company for the last 8 years now. It's a mapping software and data company called Lightbox, and they've been a great, well, they're a sponsor first off for our team, but they're also like I've been progressively getting more and more into competitive curling as I've been working there. So they've been great for letting me get some time off. Since the pandemic started, we've been working remotely full time anyways.
Right.
So when we do go on to spiels, if it's for more than just like a Friday, so say we have to leave on a Wednesday, I'll take my computer with me and I'll work for a couple of days or a few hours here or there between games if I can.
Good. And I guess another part of it too is when you get to the competitive levels that you're at, you have the need for sponsors. So 'cause I think everybody does. You can't do it alone. So maybe take us through the whole sponsorship situation and how you approached it and how it worked for you.
Okay. So we have a little like sponsorship package that we go through, and we just say like kind of who we are, what our goals are, and then what people would get for sponsoring us. So like more of a partnership, I guess. And then we started off by approaching people that we know or people within our community. And we were very lucky and fortunate to have support from a few of the community businesses right off the bat, and then as well as friends and family. So we appreciate all of that very much.
Good. Yeah, it takes a village, as they say, right?
Yeah.
It's not just one or two people. So.
Sure does.
Yeah. Well,
And
that's great.
how much is it for you to competitive curl through the season, roughly?
On average, to do a fairly competitive season just for mixed doubles and one out of province event would be about 10 grand,
Wow.
roughly. So,
Right.
and there's not a ton of money in mixed doubles. So even if you do well, unless you're winning the tier 1 like slam level events, you don't do it for money.
Right. You're not getting much money in.
Yeah.
You're spending money. Right. But you're doing it for the love of sport.
Yeah. You're so competitive.
Okay, so let's move on. What do you do in your off season? You curl from August or September to April-ish. What do you do in your off season?
We spend a lot of time at the cottage. I always say there's only 2 seasons. There's curling season and cottage season.
Yeah.
So we either, like next weekend, we're heading up there, and we'll be up there pretty much every weekend that we don't have something going on, and it's just very nice to get away and spend time outside, and we do a lot of kayaking up there, and canoeing.
So is it swimming, kayaking, or is it tubing? What is it?
Well, there's no powered boats or anything, so it's all man-powered.
It is man-powered. Okay.
So we head up the South River and do some like 1 or 2 day kayak trips if we can. So planning on doing that this summer a couple of times.
Right. So it keeps you in shape as well as you're outdoors, enjoying the outdoors.
Try to. There's always lots of work to be doing up there too.
Yeah.
Storms knocking trees down and everything. So. And then around home we do a lot of gardening in the summer, so vegetable gardening.
Okay.
So
What kind of vegetables, Shane, do you like?
primarily tomatoes, but I do everything. Like last year we had cucumbers and peppers and onions, garlic, lettuce, kale, spinach,
We had a lot going on last year.
Brussels sprouts, broccoli, cauliflower.
There's a farmer's son right there.
We even had like some beans and corn, and we had a lot of potatoes. We had a lot of stuff going last year.
Wow.
Right.
Is there a couple of secrets that you can tell people about having a successful vegetable garden?
Work from home.
So you always be around.
Then you can tend to it so all my breaks during the summertime I'll just go outside and pick away at things here and there. And,
Okay.
yeah, it's great.
I think it's time for rapid fire.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, I have the questions right here. Okay, Shane, country music or rock music?
Country.
Lauren?
Country.
Country. Well, you never know, right? Cake or pie?
Cake.
Cake.
Okay, Lauren first. Say a word in Spanish.
Ooh.
Oh my god. I don't know.
Okay, Shane, word in Spanish?
Te quiero con todo mi corazón.
Ooh, that's more than one word. That's a whole sentence.
What does that mean?
I think it means I love you with all my heart.
Oh, thanks, Shane.
You could say gracias.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
There you
Gracias.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Vanilla.
Oh, there we go. Good mediation.
Jalapeno peppers or red peppers?
Red.
Red peppers.
Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars.
Yeah. Star Wars.
Dogs or cats? Or
Dogs.
kids?
Dogs.
Dogs.
Dogs. Have you ever worn socks with sandals?
Every day.
Yes.
Hey, you know that's fashion faux pas, apparently.
Yeah, it's comfortable though.
What is your hidden talent?
Hidden talent. playing the piano.
Oh, I was gonna say that.
Oh,
You both play piano?
Yeah.
really?
So you're like those four hands people, or?
Never tried that.
No.
Good.
You have a piano at home?
Yeah, like a
With a-
keyboard,
with a
but yes.
keyboard, yeah.
And what do you play?
Grew up just like learning the classical music for the Royal Conservatory of Music. So never really did a whole lot outside of that, but
Okay.
What did you do classes or
yeah, up to grade 8.
grade 8?
Or I think I did grade 9.
I was to grade 7.
Wow, you guys.
Yeah.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
I bet you nobody in the club knows you guys are that good pianists. By the way.
Probably not.
No, now it's out there.
Yeah.
What is your go-to karaoke song?
Oh. Backstreet Boys or Spice Girls or something like that?
Have you ever sung a duet?
No.
Karaoke.
No.
We're not going to make you sing.
We're not big karaoke people.
Yeah.
You're not going to karaoke?
No.
Okay, so that's rapid fire.
That's
right?
rapid fire.
Okay,
Excellent.
cool.
Good job. Good job. So, once again, thank you, Shane and Lauren, for joining us for this episode of Life Stories Market. It's been very enlightening.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah,
It's
thank
great.
you.
That's great.
That's fun.
And to our audience, we just want to let you know that if you have an idea for a guest that has an interesting story, just like Shane and Lauren's, then please contact us at ideas@lifestoriesmarkham.ca. If you would like to sponsor the Life Stories Markham channel, then please get in touch with us at info@lifestoriesmarkham.ca. And whether you're listening to the podcast or watching it on YouTube, we would ask you to please subscribe to our channel, as that will ensure that you do not miss an episode of any of the podcast episodes that are out there. So this program has been produced by the inimitable Nilesh Hathi as part of Nilesh Hathi Media, and you can reach Nilesh directly at nileshhathi@gmail.com. We have lots of information about the channel, including all the different episodes that are available on our website, which is lifestoriesmarkham.ca. Once again, thanks to our special guests, and we'll see y'all next time.
Excellent.
Wow!
Thank you.
It's cool.
That's funny.
Oh my God, Lord.